just by the virtue that you have a phone conversation with him, you come in public and say that. I don't think it is right. I think Edgar Lungu was free, to talk about these issues, knowing the relationship that he has with Thabo Kawana. Knowing the relationship that he has with Thabo Kawana. Thabo Kawana, yourself, when Edgar Lungu was in power, and you know that he knew about your situation. You know Thabo Kawana. You know that Edgar Lungu knew about your situation. He knew. That is why even Abena Chiteme were trying to help you. Because they knew that the president knows about this. But not even one day did Edgar Lungu come out and say, Thabo Kawana, this is the situation. We have never heard Edgar Lungu discussing the ailment of other people. We have never heard that. Even your situation, Thabo Kawana, Edgar Lungu knew, but we never heard Edgar Lungu coming out discussing your ailment. No? But you had this conversation, and you thought it was okay for you to call for that press conference. And from my point of view, whatever issues that you spoke about, the issue of ECL was more significant, was more prominent. It was more prominent because even up to today, we are still talking about it. Look, I mean, it's big. The man is a former head of state. So it is being discussed. It was the biggest issue. It was big. Yes, I'm not trivializing the GBM issue. I'm not trivializing Nawakwi's issue. No. But, I mean, Edgar Lungu, by the fact that he's a former head of state, the only surviving former head of state, I think that issue, takes the prominence over these other cases. And you come and drop this issue suggesting Edgar Lungu has cancer. That is too big. That is really too big to be announced by a government spokesperson out of a phone conversation, out of a private phone conversation that you had with him. Yes, you felt very confident. You felt, yeah. I mean, I've got the truth. It is the truth, yeah. I'm not refusing because I've confirmed. It is not a lie. You had that conversation. But was it right for you, Thabo Kawana, to come and bring out this in public in the manner that you did? Was it right? If you did that on Hakainde Hichilema, you have a phone conversation with Hakainde Hichilema, and you come and hold a press conference and talk about it, would you have your job? Would you have your job? Would Hakainde Hichilema be happy with you? Even yourself, even your situation. I mean, like myself, I know, but you won't hear me discussing it. No, I don't. The time that I spoke about it, I think I was trying to clarify something that was in.
Watch the entire video, my lovely viewers, I mean from start to finish, to get the whole thing. Without wasting much of your time, let's get right into it.
This is DJ Mutati exclusive.
Hi lovely viewers, it's me again, your one and only Mutati Mpundu. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time on my channel, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting the subscribe button down below. Turn the bell icon to join the notification squad. Don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this video in the comment section below. I'll be super glad to hear from you lovely viewers.
It's the same thing now when we talk about Edgar Lungu. Let me talk about Edgar Lungu. Thabo Kawana said he spoke to President Edgar Lungu. And I have seen some people are trying to be political. You know, sometimes I think, yes, much as we do politics, but issues of, human nature, human nature, when it comes to sensitive issues, I think we should avoid the politics. I think we should avoid the politics. I think we want what is good. Let's look for what is good. Especially in this case, what is good for President Edgar Lungu. Let us look at what is good for President Edgar Lungu. This issue of trying to continue doing politics, I don't think it's good. I think sometime we should be able to say, we are human beings, and look at things from a human point of view, which is what Thabo Kawana said, and I agree with you on that one. My only concern is that, Thabo Kawana, you came out and revealed in a way, though not directly, because you didn't say Edgar Lungu has cancer, but you said he has finished chemo. And when you talk about chemo, we always link it to cancer. So people now are thinking Edgar Lungu has got cancer. I don't know if chemo only comes in, if chemo treatment only comes in when it is cancer. I don't know. I'm not a medical person. I don't know. And neither can I confirm to say Edgar Lungu has got cancer. I can't confirm that. But the question is, did Edgar Lungu speak to Thabo Kawana? Yes, he did. Thabo Kawana was not lying about that. And those of you who want to, to turn around and play politics, politics of lying is not good. It's not good. Let us hold Thabo Kawana responsible for something that he has done wrong. Or if he has lied, yes, let's talk about that. But when he has said the truth, let us admit it is the truth. And maybe if we have got a different point of view, then let's bring it up. But let us say the truth and then give our point of view. And in this case, it is true. He spoke to President Edgar Lungu. And it is actually President Edgar Lungu who called him. He called him because he wanted to go and see him. He had heard that Thabo Kawana was in South Africa and he was not well. And he wanted to go and see him. Remember, Thabo Kawana and President Edgar Lungu, they are not strangers. Thabo Kawana and Edgar Lungu, they know each other. Even when he was in State House, Thabo Kawana had some access to President Edgar Lungu. That's how he was even helped. Even after Thabo Kawana, even after Edgar Lungu left power, Thabo Kawana had met Edgar Lungu. I have some knowledge of that. Thabo Kawana, from what I know, it's not that there is bad blood between Thabo Kawana and Edgar Lungu. I don't think there is. This is why even Edgar Lungu was able to call him so that he can go and see him. And they had a conversation about their situation. It is true when Thabo Kawana says that. The only issue, my point of view now, is that I don't think, was it right for Thabo Kawana to bring that private conversation that they had, to bring it to the public? Was it right? I don't think so, from my point of view. Because I cannot have a phone conversation with somebody about their ailment, and then I come here on social media. Imagine like that. Imagine I talk to Thabo Kawana about whatever situation that he has, and then I come on social media to say, I'm just from talking to Thabo Kawana, and Thabo Kawana's, whatever. I don't think it is in my place. I don't think it is my place. Much as Thabo Kawana, he is a government official, he is a public figure. I don't think. And even Hakainde Hichilema, for example, you talk to Hakainde Hichilema, you have an opportunity to talk to Hakainde Hichilema, and he tells you, I'm actually having a headache and blah, 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 blah. I've just taken Panadol. Would it be in my right place to come here on social media to say, yeah, I've just spoken to President Hakainde Hichilema, and he has told me he's not feeling well. It's not in my place. Health issues are quite personal. Much as you are a public figure, unless somebody has given you the authority to reveal, I don't think it is right for you to reveal. I don't think. Much as somebody he is a public figure, I don't think it is right, just by the virtue that you have a phone conversation with him, you come in public and say that. I don't think it is right. I think Edgar Lungu was free, to talk about these issues, knowing the relationship that he has with Thabo Kawana. Thabo Kawana, yourself, when Edgar Lungu was in power, and you know that he knew about your situation. You know, Thabo Kawana, you know that Edgar Lungu knew about your situation. He knew. That is why even Abena Chiteme were trying to help you. Because they knew that the president knows about this. But not even one day did Edgar Lungu come out and say, Thabo Kawana, this is the situation. We have never heard Edgar Lungu discussing the ailment of other people. We have never heard that. Even your situation, Thabo Kawana, Edgar Lungu knew, but we never heard Edgar Lungu coming out discussing your ailment. No? But you had this conversation, and you thought it was okay for you to call for that press conference. And from my point of view, whatever issues that you spoke about, the issue of ECL was more significant, was more prominent. It was more prominent because even up to today, we are still talking about it. Look, I mean, it's big. The man is a former head of state. So it is being discussed. It was the biggest issue. It was big. Yes, I'm not trivializing the GBM issue. I'm not trivializing Nawaki's issue. No. But I mean, Edgar Lungu, by the fact that he's a former head of state, the only surviving former head of state, I think that issue, takes the prominence over these other cases. And you come and drop this issue, suggesting Edgar Lungu has cancer. That is too big. That is really too big to be announced by a government spokesperson out of a phone conversation, out of a private phone conversation that you had with him. Yes, you felt very confident. You felt, yeah. I mean, I've got the truth. It is the truth, yeah. I'm not refusing because I've confirmed. It is not a lie. You had that conversation. But was it right for you, Thabo Kawana, to come and bring out this in public in the manner that you did? Was it right? If you did that on Hakainde Hichilema, you have a phone conversation with Hakainde Hichilema, and you come and hold a press conference and talk about it, would you have your job? Would you have your job? Would Hakainde Hichilema be happy with you? Even yourself, even your situation. I mean, like myself, I know, but you won't hear me discussing it. No, I don't. The time that I spoke about it, I think I was trying to clarify something that was in the public. And I was doing it in your interest. In your interest, when I was talking about it, when I spoke about your issue, I was talking in your interest. Because people saw that and they were, no, Thabo Kawana is dying and whatever. And they said, no. I mean, this is a situation which is normal. People have these conditions. And we received a number of people started offering. No, I can give him my kidney, what. And you even had to respond to say, no, come on. I'm okay, I'm managing. But people started doing that as a result of my intervention to clarify the situation. You were still sick. You couldn't talk to people when people were, when they saw you in bed and whatever. But some of us came out to clarify the situation. And you won sympathy. People started volunteering. I think that is the best way that we can do. Other than, dropping a bomb to say this guy is going. And even the manner that you brought it out, you were very clever. Very clever. The way that you brought it out. No, let's pray for him. Let's pray for him. When something befalls us as a nation, we go to God. Even Arabi, when Arabi had cancer, we turned to God. What are you trying to say, Thabo Kawana? What are you trying to say? No. That was not in the interest of Edgar Lungu. That was not in the interest of Edgar Lungu. You played politics there. You played politics. What you were trying to do is to tell people out there, Edgar Lungu has got cancer and, don't think about him. Don't think about him. Rule him out. It was a campaign strategy to completely rule out Edgar Lungu. But surely, should we go to those extents? No, that was not right. It was not right from my point of view. It was not right. It was very wrong. You can't have a conversation with somebody and then, a private conversation, and you come and drop it to the public. I mean, it may not be that, I don't know. Like I'm saying, I can't confirm that Edgar Lungu has got cancer or not. We can't confirm. From my little understanding is that chemotherapy is not only a treatment for cancer. I don't know. And at the same time, I know of people that have had this situation. They have done chemotherapy and they have recovered. There are a number of them. We have a number of people that have gone through these situations and they are okay. They are okay. I mean, I don't want to I find it difficult even to start mentioning names of people. But remember, we had Tandiwe Banda. And I mention her because she's a public figure and it was in public domain. There are other people that have had these situations and they have recovered. I've got my young brother right now. I've got one of my young brothers right now. I've got one of my young brothers. I feel like mentioning his name, but if he's watching, I care for you, my brother. And I talked to him recently. I just actually sent him a text message to find out how is he doing. He's doing well. He had been going through chemo and he's recovering because chemo, it's a treatment. Chemo is a treatment. It is not a sign of death to say when you are going through chemo, then you are going to die. No, it is a treatment. That's why it is there. It is meant to heal people. It is meant to heal people. So we should not rule out people by the fact that they have gone through chemo and we take it to say, chapwa, this is the end. No. It is a treatment. It is a treatment. So it should not threaten anyone to say we should rule out somebody. No, it is a treatment. It is a treatment. But Thabo Kawana was being, cleverly, talking about this. But surely it was to instill fear in you people that Edgar Lungu is dying. But no. And what is funny about also, life is such that some people may be sick. And you find those people who are actually very healthy, they die. They leave the people who have been sick. Some of these people, we have known them to be sick from a long time. Some people have been accused of so many ailments, different terminal ailments, and they are still there. But look how many people have died. You know, healthy people, that people that were okay, looking okay, but they have died. These people that were sick, they are still there. They are still there. So you just never know. You just never know. Umwao wa muntu wabamulilesa. Wabamulilesa. It is not us. Believe me, you can be thinking of Edgar Lungu to say Edgar Lungu will go. You find that you will go yourself. Edgar Lungu will remain. You find that Edgar Lungu will go. Even Thabo Kawana himself, we have seen Thabo Kawana, lying in bed in a FMA tubes, and you think like, is he going to get up? But he's there. And he's even attending funerals of other people. Funerals of other people who may have even been healthier than Thabo Kawana. But Thabo Kawana is attending their funerals. So, it should not create this in the minds of people to say, no, he's gone, he's gone. But the other issue that Thabo Kawana spoke about was the relationship that Edgar Lungu has with Hakainde Hichilema, where he said, no, Thabo Kawana, the ECL and Edgar Lungu, they talk. There is no bad blood. There is no acrimony. They talk. That one, I don't want to pretend. It is not true. I'll just say that. Let me not even beat about the bush. No. That one is not true. That one is not true. That one, what Thabo Kawana said, to say Edgar Lungu has been talking to Hakainde Hichilema, it is not true. It is not true. I refuse. And I challenge Thabo Kawana. I challenge Thabo Kawana to prove that, if he can even do it. Because, he talks to who? To Edgar Lungu. We talk to Edgar Lungu. And Edgar Lungu, has been desirous to talk to Hakainde Hichilema. From what I know, Edgar Lungu has been desirous to talk to Hakainde Hichilema. At one point, someone went to see Edgar Lungu, okay, and they spoke, and then they gave him the number. I think it was the time of Arabi, when Arabi died. Do you remember when Arabi died? I think I can speak confidently that the last time Hakainde Hichilema spoke to Edgar Lungu was the time when Arabi died. And during that time, a number was given to him. A few days later, Edgar Lungu wanted to reach out to President Hakainde Hichilema over some issues. And he couldn't go through. And Edgar Lungu, to me, this I can confirm, in his house then back in Ibex, he said, I have a number, because, I told him myself. Me, I've been honest with Edgar Lungu. I have not cheated. There was some issue that came up, and I was like, Your Excellency, why don't you talk to the president? Why don't you talk to your successor? Talk to him. I did that. And he told me to say, it's not the number, but this number doesn't go through. But if a friend gives you a number to say, this is the number that you can reach me on, and you try to call that person on that number and it's not going through, what would you say? So from my point of view, at least from the experience that I've had, from the interaction that I've had with Edgar Lungu, but I don't think that Edgar Lungu has got that bitterness against HH. There have been some situations where Edgar Lungu had wanted to engage Hakainde Hichilema, but he has not been able to reach him. He has not been able to reach him. He has not been able to reach him. I know you can say, no, he can talk through whatever, but really, I mean, at that level, there should be a direct communication. At that level, especially from the president's side. It is not from Edgar Lungu's side. Edgar Lungu is now a private citizen. It is Hakainde Hichilema who is the president, who has all this security. Yes, maybe that number which he has, maybe during the day it's not on, whatever. But you know, at one point when you find a missed call, you should be able to call back. So in other words, this initiative of talking should mostly come from Edgar Lungu, from Hakainde Hichilema. Because Hakainde Hichilema is the one who has all this protection. He's a president for sure. He's a president for sure. Even some of you say, no. Hey, talk to Hakainde Hichilema. Talk to Hakainde Hichilema. How do I talk to Hakainde Hichilema? It's not easy to talk to Hakainde Hichilema. He's a president. It's not easy. It's not easy. I've told you here that I used to talk to Basata. Not one day did I speak to Basata. Not one day. Myself, not to my phone. It was him who used to call. It was him who used to call. And he used to know that, okay, where I am, it's okay. I'm comfortable now. Or I'm alone. I can talk to Daddy. It was not me. I had that number. I never even tried to call it. Because I knew that, he's the president. But when the president wanted to talk to me, at any time he could call me. At any time, for that matter. At any time. At any time, he would call me. It's the same situation with Hakainde Hichilema. It's him who is the president. And if indeed what Thabo Kawana is saying is trying to show that, you know, there is no acrimony, I will take it that it is a sign of goodwill. It is a sign of goodwill that government want a relationship with Edgar Lungu. Want a good relationship with Edgar Lungu. And if that is the case, I would confirm to you that Edgar Lungu will not see Hakainde Hichilema score and cut it. I don't think Edgar Lungu will pick up a phone call and here it is Hakainde Hichilema and cut it. No, I'm confirming to you. He will gladly engage. He will gladly engage. I can assure you. Edgar Lungu, from where he is, if he receives a phone call from Hakainde Hichilema, he will gladly engage. He will gladly engage. But he cannot start from his side. He cannot. He cannot start from his side. It is difficult for us citizens to speak to the president. It is very difficult. But the president, if the president wants to talk to us, even now, if where I'm sitting here, Hakainde Hichilema can call me and tell me what to do, and I'll jump to do that. I'll jump to do that. That is what is in that office. I can be this far away, but if Hakainde Hichilema called me and told me, do 1, 2, 3, I will do as such. And it's the same thing with the Edgar Lungu. So let us not create this kind of situation. Let us not just do PR in public. No. Let us not do PR just in public to make people think, no, these people, they are in talks. There is no acrimony. No. Let us be real. Let us be real. And this is the problem that I'm talking about. You may have heard Hakainde Hichilema, being positive. And instead of helping, you are not helping. You are just putting it out there, window dressing. No, there is no whatever. Do it. Do it. Let Hakainde Hichilema talk to Edgar Lungu. Let Hakainde Hichilema talk to Edgar Lungu. We are not saying he should reduce himself. No, it's not reducing himself. We are respecting the office. We don't just pick up phone calls and start talking to the president. We don't do that. We don't do that. I mean, even yourselves, unless there is something wrong with you. But really, we don't just pick up phone calls and start talking to the president. Call the president, no. We respect that office. It is the president to call you when the president needs you, when the president, whatever, wants to talk to you. It's him. It's him. And so you people who are around Hakainde Hichilema, if you want that relationship, don't just do a sugar coating. You are even putting on headlines. There is no bad blood. No, you're putting headlines. No, that is not right. That is not right. Can you do what is right? Can you do what is right? Facilitate for that conversation. And that conversation, I tell you, it will earn you so much politically. You are the ones who are in power. It will earn you more than it will earn Edgar Lungu. Hakainde Hichilema calling Edgar Lungu and talking to him, and you come out and say, yes, we spoke. You don't have to come and say, no, he has got chemo. Just that. It will earn you more political goodwill. More political goodwill. Some of these problems that are there can be resolved by just that phone call. Can be resolved. I mean, I'm sure Edgar Lungu is concerned about his family. He's concerned about his wife. Maybe if you reach out to him, he would express his sentiments, how he feels with what is going on with his family. And if indeed, he's sick like you are claiming, because you are claiming he's sick, he has got cancer. If indeed that is the situation, I mean, doesn't it call for you people to mend whatever relationship, whatever issues that were there? Doesn't it call for that? Instead of you just coming out and talking, he has finished chemo, whatever. Because in such a situation, if indeed you think Edgar Lungu has got cancer and he is dying, isn't it a time for you to mend whatever bridges? Even if somebody has done something wrong, even if somebody has done something wrong to you, but when you hear they are in a situation that is terminal, I mean, you reconsider whatever situation. This is what we are talking about, but now I'm going to say, why didn't you just withdraw all those cases? So if this is the situation, I mean, why not engage with Edgar Lungu? And if indeed, I'm just saying, if indeed this is the situation, why not, mend the relationship? Why not mend the relationship? Why not free the wife so that the wife can concentrate on looking after him? Now look, she has to be flying back and forth, from South Africa to come to the courts, leaving the husband, who you believe is very sick. Why not work out all these things? There is nothing under the sun that has got no solution. Even those court cases, there is a solution. There is a solution. If you really want to be compassionate, there is a solution. There is something that you can do about that situation. What about the children? I mean, whatever all these, but you may fine. You can even leave the children aside. But when it comes to the wife, because your wife is part of you. Your wife is part of you. Your wife is part of you. You are one with your wife. So, these kind of things, we can resolve them. Instead of just doing window dressing, but we can concretely look at these issues and resolve them. I think this is my take on these issues. This is my take on these issues. On Nawakwi, you did well. You did well, to help in the manner that you did, but you lost an opportunity of showing how compassionate you are by, pressing on those cases. And surely, you can't blame us when we say you exacerbated her death by the way you treated her. Now we have GBM. GBM is alive. Why can't we extend that compassion? Allow GBM to go. Give GBM bail. Since there is this impediment that if he goes as a prisoner, they have to be whatever. Give him bail. and talk to GBM. Please, go and come back. If he doesn't come back, it will not be your fault. You would have done your part. People will be able to judge you. People will be able to judge between GBM and the government. Who is credible? And anyway, at the end of the day, what is better, to have GBM die in prison or to have GBM alive, wherever he may go, if he goes? But I strongly believe GBM would come back. On ECL, yeah, it was good you had that conversation with Edgar Lungu. But to bringing it out in the manner that you brought it to the public, I think it was a little bit too much. And you may have caused anxiety in public. People thinking, no, Edgar Lungu is dying. But chemo is a treatment. And it is there so that people can recover. And we have so many people that have recovered. So that is not a death sentence. But on the other hand, if you know that this person is sick, why not make his life better? Why not make his life better? Why not make those phone calls that you are talking about real? Edgar Lungu, Hakainde Hichilema will not melt by talking to Edgar Lungu. He will not melt. If anything, there will be something that will come out of that conversation, which will be good for Hakainde Hichilema, it will be good for Edgar Lungu, it will be good for the entire country.
This is DJ Mutati exclusive.
Alright, that's all for you today, lovely viewers. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about the video you just watched in the comment section below. I'll be super glad to hear from you, lovely viewers. Once again, I go by the name of Mutati Mpundu. I love you, peace, I gotta go.